Welcome to Wild, Women in Lending Determined to Make an Impact. I'm your host, Robin Lavasser. They say our biggest fear is not that we are inadequate. It's being powerful beyond measure. In this podcast, I will share how to break through imaginary ceilings, lean into success, discovering your purpose, and understanding how to create the business and life of your dreams. From failures to triumphs and all the tactics in between, let's jump into the wild arena together. Welcome back to Season 2 and the first episode of Season 2 with Robin Lavasser and the Wild Podcast. I am so excited to be back. Season 1 was a lot of fun. We do this in short episode increments to really talk about all the things that I feel like, hey, I am qualified to help and share you grow in areas of, honestly, mom bossing, parenting, wifing, if you will, partnering, and then also obviously in the climb in business, being 100% commission sales and really learning sales tactics, leadership tactics, and ultimately things that are specific to loans that I think metaphorically work for a myriad of businesses. So I'm excited to be back and really wanted to start today with what is working. I'll tell you what, people think that the industry on the whole, I think everyone's maybe not necessarily waiting, but worrying if it's ever going to shift. Meaning, is it going to get easier? And I think the answer that many have resolved themselves to is no. But then what? Then what do you do? If it's not going to get easier, can you make it easier? And I love the concept of controlling the controllables. We talk a lot about, hey, you're either coming into a storm, you're already in the storm, or you're coming out of the storm. But if you're always one of the three, you recognize that there is a cycle to all of it. So loan officers that won the first quarter, I wanted to share with you how they are winning, what they are doing, and what I see as some of the traits that I think will help you a ton in this space. And so let's go through a few. One is saying yes faster, meaning accessibility and low barrier entry in your business matters. A lot of people built teams during the rise, if you will, of the last 10, 15 years of mortgage. And the truth is, if you want to serve people at the highest level, doing it alone, you might get there fast, but doing it together, you'll get farther. And so having a team is a huge benefit. However, what we have sometimes done is built a system that is no longer relevant to current market conditions. And I can tell you, when you don't have a ton of leads or a massive pipeline, the best person to convert, the best person to brainstorm, the best person to collaborate on the team, i.e. is likely you as the leader. And that means you need to stay close to, and I'm not discounting the value of the human, but hear me, close to the money. And staying close to the money means you say yes sooner if it's available, meaning, yes, I can meet with you. Yes, I'll work on that pre-approval. Yes, I'd like to get your application. Yes, we can run numbers on that specific home. Yes, we can do this. Yes, we can do this. Yes is not, you're approved to have a loan and we haven't even looked at anything. That's not the yes that I'm talking about. I'm talking about the speed to forward progress, even if it's a yes with conditions to what that yes means. Saying yes sooner, lower the barrier entry. Lower the barrier entry. I'm on the phone with somebody. They're ready to rock and roll. Do I pause momentum by saying, go to the website, fill out the application, then upload documents, then we'll get you scheduled. And all of a sudden we're on a 2-day window for something that I actually could have stopped, dropped, and rolled in that moment and taken the application and got things rolling. Now, I want you to follow processes, obviously, because everything has to be scalable. But when I say scalable, it means that not only do you have to have a system and a plan to scale up, you also have to have a system and a plan and pivot when things scale down. Countless people have not shifted as things have scaled down. They have not lowered their barrier entry, i.e., they have not said yes and made forward progress sooner and energetically. They're following the same process as if there are 30 leads or loan applications being there when there might only be one. Well, I'll tell you what, if there's one, we better make that one feel not only prompt in execution, but really well taken care of. Really well taken care of. You would do the same with the 30, but there's more of a process to it because there has to be in order to scale. And here's how I kind of affiliate that. I actually talked about this on the Be Your Best podcast that I do with Jim Reed and Todd Screama. When you think about going through an airport line or any sort of line where they're trying to control the flow of traffic, what happens is when there's a ton of people, they put up more ropes, if you will, and make it zigzag with start and stops a lot more to control. So it's not just one big blob, if you will. Think of your business that way metaphorically, not just one big blob. When there's less people, you'll watch I was just in customs, flying home from our peak performance trip in Mexico, and you watch them come out and realize, oh, there's not very many people here, but there's this zigzag that's very inefficient. Let me take down all of the ropes. Let me take them down and make it faster to walk through just a couple areas to get to the front. The same is happening in our business with lead flow, with pre-approvals, with taking agent calls, with allowing ourselves accessibility on our calendar. You have to control that flow. And when that flow isn't some big mad rush of people that now you have to put up little starts and stops to make sure that you're serving everyone at the highest level and controlling the process, you have to take down some of those ropes to allow people in. Very big deal. So saying yes is a huge one. Consistency. It is such an underplayed skill in this market. And it truly is a skill because it's something that can be learned. It's something that can be shifted. Consistency in at least one of these things, but it could be a myriad of these things. One is your power hour, your call days, making your theme day calls, or at a very bare minimum, doing at least 2 call days a week consistently. That might be your Tuesday updates and your Monday realtor calls if you're in the loan officer space. Consistency wins all day long, every day of the week. You could even say every Monday I'm going to call you, but if you're not calling every Monday, if it's once in a blue moon, if it's not consistent, the trust doesn't go up, the confidence doesn't go up, the expectation, right? The memory of it. And so you're creating something more than you think you are by being consistent. So power hour, open houses, consistent in open houses. Some of our very top producers that are short term in the business that are averaging over 10 units a month, closing over 100 loans a year, literally still go to open houses. And that's how they built their business 2-3 years ago, was going to open houses consistently. That might mean you go to 3 every single weekend. It might mean you go to 3 weekends out of the month. Whatever it is, do it consistently makes a huge difference. Milk runs is one. Milk runs is stopping by offices consistently. And that isn't just real estate offices, different topic in a podcast, but it could be a channel account in general, a builder, a bank account, a CPA firm, but consistently showing up. It might be a once a month drop by. It might be an every week drop by. It might be an every 3 week drop by. It might be a quarterly drop by. If it's not consistent, if people don't know that they can count on it or they don't become familiar with it, familiarity breaks down walls. So when there's something that becomes familiar to somebody, walls come down. You want that in sales, and yet we often are not consistent enough to create that consistency, that trust, and then also that familiarity that breaks things down. So be consistent with milk runs. The last one, face-to-faces, Zoom appointments. I cannot tell you, your consistency with your client presentation is a game changer, both in pre-approval, in loan disclosure, and then the system throughout as they get into contract all the way through closing, through post-closing. You have to have a consistent process, and at least 2 of those spaces should include a Zoom or a face-to-face. The people that are ultimately winning are consistently doing those things. Now, maybe they're not doing every single one of them. They might have been doing 1 consistently. Many that are truly winning are doing at least 2 of those consistently. If you're doing 0 of those, and you're intellectually honest with yourself, if it's consistent, you are currently struggling. Pick 2 and get consistent with them. That will change the game. Strong mental game, no plan B. No plan B. Strong mental game. There is so much right now that becomes results driven in our mind and in our thoughts. And it's so easy to get fear-based, to become paralyzed, to get distracted, to not trust, enjoy, or stay engaged in the process, but want the end result. It results in commission breath. It results in bad decision making. It results in losing momentum. Mind over matter is such a big deal right now. It's a big deal in life in general, but I cannot stress enough to you, if you are not doing certain things specifically to keep your mindset in a place where you say, this is me. This is my career, my passion, my focus, my purpose. And I'm going to play it at the highest level. And I trust the results are going to come, but I seek advisement if there's things that I need to shift. You are not going to stay in the game. You just aren't. If you are by yourself, isolated, paralyzed, doing the same thing over and over again, right? Definition of insanity, you're going to struggle. So make sure that your mindset is in a great place, highly active and highly visible. Highly active, highly visible, that really speaks to the previous things that I talked about. But again, that consistency in all those places, people that are winning, I'll give you an example. We have a call-a-thon in Summit Funding, and 2 different times now we've done it. We did on President's Day, so a day off of work. We did an 8-hour plus call day. Multiple people showed up on it. In addition to that, we just did one on St. Patty's Day, chasing that pot of gold. And a call-a-thon is literally being on screen with a group of people, so accountability partner, like showing up to the gym and making calls all day long. We pause a few times during the day and we coach on role play scripting, who we're calling, nerves, success stories, painful rejection stories. The point is you engage and you do it in team and you make calls that you normally wouldn't have made. Countless people showed up to that were so uncomfortable. It was so vulnerable for them to actually show up. They were scared to make the calls. And at the end, they said, I'm so glad I did it. Then they showed up for round 2, and I can tell you true testimony. So we have a gal that literally was closing 1 loan per month average. So 12 in an entire year, 12 in an entire year. Already this year, she'll be on track to essentially close 13 in the first 4 months of, well, really 3 months of the year. 13 total loans in the first 3 months of the year. Guess what? She showed up to both call-a-thons and has been making consistent phone calls, staying highly active, highly visible, and doing a milk run consistently. Those are the 3 things she's doing, and it is changing the game. It's not the market that's determining her success. It's simply giving her strategy on how to approach. Huge win there. The very last one, surrender. This gal, especially, she's coachable. She's coachable and she's engaged. And she said, I'm at a do or die moment in my career. She's been doing this a very long time. She's been very frustrated. I could almost guarantee you she's thought about getting a W-2 job, changing out of the business, taking on something different, giving up, if you will. And instead she went all in and she said, coach me. Now she's asking so many questions that it drives me bananas sometimes, right? Like she wants to know a little bit of everything. What about this? How should I do this? What do you think of this video? Do you like me doing this? How do you feel about this social media post? She is constantly seeking advisement. And I'll be a little bit egotistical here. Yes, I am a good advisor in that space, but you have to find someone who is qualified. You don't want to go ask somebody who's equally struggling to give you advice on what you should do in your business. You for sure want to ask somebody that is not struggling, why and how they're not struggling, and if they are willing to help and guide you. So surrender to somebody that's bigger than yourself, that you are willing to not only take advice from, but take action on the advice. If you cover a bunch of these things, and you lost in Q1, maybe you even broke even or you barely won, and you think to yourself, there are a lot of things that Robin just shared that I'm not doing. Gosh darn it, pick a couple and do it. And I promise you, your Q2, you will not lose. You will more than win and get yourself back on track for a great 2025. Looking forward to the next episode. I'll see you on Robin Lavasser's Wild in the future.